Mayotte in the heart of the Indian Ocean. At the first light of dawn, this island, nicknamed Mayotte, the Island of Death, by Portuguese sailors who saw their boats run aground against the coral reef, nevertheless has incredible biodiversity both on land and underwater. The Mayotte Lagoon has a double coral reef which makes it the largest lagoon in the western part of the Indian Ocean, and among the largest in the world. The water temperature of the lagoon is 25 degrees during the southern winter and can reach 30 C from December to April. Its depth can reach up to 40 meters, and the tides have a strong tidal range with variations of more than 4 meters that bring this lagoon to life, cleaning it with the tides. The lagoon is characterized by a wide diversity of habitat: coral reef, mangroves, seagrass beds, remote reef banks, where you can find turtles, dolphins, manta rays, whales, and dugongs. Mayotte is part of the Marine Natural Park, which covers an area of more than 68,000 square kilometers. There are more than 2,300 known marine species, 800 species of fish, 300 species of coral, 7.3 square kilometers of mangroves, and as many seagrass beds, and 22 species of marine mammals. It is a hotspot of global biodiversity in the heart of the Indian Ocean. It is on board the Sea Blue Safari 1 piloted by its captain Nils Bertrand that we set off to explore this lagoon. We head towards Nguja, which has a seagrass bed that sea turtles love. The island of Mayotte is a crossroads for the migration of sea turtles from the southwest of the Indian Ocean, a feeding and breeding destination. The waters of Mayotte offer particularly favorable conditions to accommodate all stages of life of these species. There are 7 species of sea turtles in the world. 5 of these species frequent the waters of Mayotte. 2 of them can be seen on the Mahoran beaches and in the lagoon: the green turtle, the hawksbill turtle. Mayotte is also considered a feeding hotspot for green turtles. Nearly 2,000 individuals frequent the seagrass beds. These impressive figures make Mayotte a key site for sea turtles on a regional scale. This particularity gives the island a great responsibility: the protection of the populations of the Indian Ocean from the state of the turtle populations in Mayotte. But what is happening just below the surface? It seems that we are witnessing a green turtle reproduction. Let's try to get closer. All species of sea turtle have the same life cycle. They spend almost their entire existence at sea and only come out on rare occasions to lay eggs. Mating takes place near the nesting sites or during the migration between feeding sites and nesting sites. During mating, the male is attached by its front claws to the female shell. It is common to witness mating in broad daylight. Adults who have reached sexual maturity mate near the beaches. A single mating will fertilize all the clutches of the season. That is up to 6 clutches. Females go to the beaches at night at high tide to dig their nest. They generally choose quiet places without light and bordered by vegetation. Each nest contains about 100 eggs surrounded by a flexible membrane the size of a ping pong ball. The female seals her nest before returning to the sea until the next laying approximately 15 days later. incubation period of the eggs varies according to the temperature from 45 days to 70 days. Another inhabitant of the lagoon is found on the seagrass beds. This is the dugong, the only herbivorous mammal. The dugong is a real gardener for seagrass beds. By grazing on them, it maintains their growth and facilitates their diversity. Usually observed alone in the shallow waters of the lagoon, the female can sometimes be observed alone with her young, or more rarely in a small group of 3 individuals. Adult dugongs measure between 2.5 and 4 meters long and weigh between 250 and 420 kilos. They reach sexual maturity between 9 and 10 years old. The female gives birth to only 1 young at a time after a 1-year gestation period, and with a reproductive cycle every 3 to 7 years. The dugong can live 50 to 60 years. It is often compared to the cow because of its herbivorous diet. Its food requirements are enormous since it consumes 20 to 30 kilograms of seagrass per day. The name dugong comes from the Malay dugong, Lady of the Sea, which recalls its mythological origins, which are the mermaids. Mayotte gives it a completely different legend. It tells that a brother and a sister would have left in a canoe and would have sinned together. To punish them for this incest, God would have transformed them into dugongs. Today there are less than 10 dugongs around Mayotte. Before the 1970s, this population was much larger. Its steep decline was caused by overfishing and accidental catches in nets. There are many species of marine mammals. There are 18 species of dolphins all around the lagoon, which alone represent 1/4 of the world population. As we head north of the island, a group of stinels joins us and comes to stand at the bow of our boat. There are more than 1,000 of them all around the island. The streamlined and hydrodynamic shape of its body and its smooth and very flexible skin, which absorbs the turbulence of the water, make it an animal gifted for speed. It is an acrobat. It stands out from other dolphins by its jumps very high above the water and its acrobatic figures, which have earned it the nickname of spinner dolphin, quickly followed by a group of large offshore dolphins, the Tursiops truncatus, which measures 2 to 3 meters and weighs 200 to 300 kilograms. The bottlenose dolphin occupies all the temperate and tropical seas of the globe. However, it is absent from the polar zones. Bottlenose dolphin populations are populations that move regionally, unlike their cousin, the bottlenose dolphins, which are sedentary. It is a sociable animal that lives in small family groups of 2 to 6 individuals, but much larger groups can be observed. females reach sexual maturity between 6 and 12 years old, while males are able to reproduce between 10 and 13 years old. A single evil could never force a female to mate, so the males join forces to do so. She is forced to accompany them. The males will hold her as long as possible, and one or more of them will try to mate with her. It seems brutal, but that's how it is with dolphins. Births occur all year round. After a gestation period of 12 months, the female gives birth to a single individual every 2 or 3 years. But what's happening? The lagoon is getting agitated. It's now a group of Poponocephali that is coming to meet us. An incredible mix of marine mammals, Stainellas, ocean Turgiops. Poponocephali are now present right there. It's an impressive situation that I've only seen here in Mayotte. I witnessed an impressive scene. The arrival of 2 young whales being heckled by the Poponocephali. To show their displeasure, one of the whales released bubbles, which generally says a lot about the animal's displeasure. It is during the southern winter that the whales arrive in Mayotte. Generally, it is first the juveniles and immatures followed by the adults and then the females who come to give birth. If the humpback whales choose the waters of Mayotte, it is because the lagoon offers very favorable conditions for their reproduction. After the feeding period in the cold and krill-rich waters of the Antarctic, the whales go during the southern winter to our warmer waters to mate, give birth, rest, and raise their young. During this period, they do not feed and therefore live on their reserve, which makes them more vulnerable. It looks like a whale calf is coming up to the surface. So what is this strange posture? Scientists seem to be divided on this strange posture. Some see it as a means of thermoregulation by the whale, while others see it as a way to facilitate the feeding of the calf. The whale can remain static for more than 30 minutes without breathing and have apneas of 1 minute when it is in dynamic mode and navigating. The calf is breastfed for 5 months, stuffed with very rich milk. It grows at a lightning speed, more than 60 kilos per day. At birth, it measures 4 meters and weighs at least a ton. When it is strong enough, the calf will learn the codes of the mother, namely, communicate and reproduce the customs and habits of its congeners. The jump, the twists, the sounds. And sometimes it will need the support of its mother, who will be there to support it, comfort it, and support it in its efforts. When the young are strong enough to travel, the whales leave Mayotte and return to feed in the Antarctic. They take the return journey with a journey of more than 5,000 kilometers to the frozen waters of the Antarctic, where they will find a feeding area. To get back there, they will use the stars, the tides, the sun, and the moon to return to their point of origin. And after a big feeding, they will come back next year to visit us. But sometimes some of them will not return to Antarctica. Too old or hungry, they end up exhausted and die. They will become the feast of opportunistic predators that prowl the waters of Mayotte, like the sharks that love their fat. The tiger shark is one of the largest shark species in the world. It is due to the dark stripes on its body that the animal is called tiger shark. One of the largest shark species in the world, this super predator is distinguished by its extreme voracity. The animal swallows animals, of course, but also all types of waste thrown away by humans. Tires, bottles, license plates. Fortunately, this shark has extremely powerful stomach acids that allow it to digest almost everything it ingests. It is also nicknamed the garbage collector of the seas. tiger shark population is classified as near threatened by the IUCN. Overfishing is the main threat to this animal, which has been heavily exploited for certain parts of its body. Sharks are considered cleaners of the seas and hunt the weakest, injured, or sick animals, preventing the spread of diseases. They help maintain the health of the marine ecosystem. The life expectancy of the tiger shark is 20 to 25 years, but sometimes it meets the alpha of the oceans. I name the orca. Orcas are increasingly present in the waters of Mayotte. However, they do not stay there forever. This species is nomadic, and Mayotte is only a transit point every 3 or 4 months. Orcas are part of the same family as dolphins. They are capable of developing ingenious hunting strategies to feed themselves. The orca, like all dolphins, has an echolocation capacity to orient itself. It is the sixth sense of dolphins. This ability allows it to know without seeing the size of its prey and its location. Communication is very important in cetaceans, which spend a lot of time communicating through vocalization and physical contact. These highly social animals use a complex series. Scientists have identified sound variations specific to each group. Each group has its own dialect. The tiger shark that seemed so big, so strong, suddenly became so tiny in front of these orcas, as if to show me that he is the alpha of the oceans. He rises to the surface to show me his catch. We have tried to take you as close as possible to the underwater fauna, mainly made up of marine mammals. The Mayotte Lagoon is certainly one of the high places where you can observe all this life just below the surface. However, it is an entire ecosystem that must be preserved and to which future generations will have to pay attention. Everything must be done for the preservation of this lagoon. Education for sustainable development, wastewater management, fight against poaching. All of these actions must allow Mayotte to become a UNESCO World Heritage Site and continue to make the Mahorais proud throughout the world as the most beautiful lagoon in the world.
Naked light I saw 10,000 people, maybe more. People talking without speaking.